Welcome to the Dr. P channel. I'm Dr. Perkins. I'm a board certified OBGYN, and today I'm excited to talk to you about, is having sex every day bad when trying to conceive? In this episode, you will learn about ovulation, how often to have sex to conceive, how quickly new sperm is produced, and how long sperm lives in a female's reproductive system. So let's talk about fertility. Fertility really comprises of a female side and a male side. In this episode, we will focus more so on the male side, but before we get there, let's talk about ovulation. Ovulation is the process of eggs maturing and releasing from your ovaries. Once that egg is released, it is accepted into your fallopian tube. Your fallopian tube then has a very, very important job to do in order for fertilization to occur. What is that job? Well, it has to be the bridge for egg and sperm to come together and fertilization to occur. Let me show you what that looks like on a model. Here you'll see the female reproductive system, of which we're talking about the fallopian tubes. You have two fallopian tubes, one on either side of the uterus. The ends of the fallopian tubes are almost like little fingers, and their job is to catch the egg in midair as it is released from your ovaries. Now, the fallopian tube has little tiny hairs that are lining the entire area of both of your fallopian tubes. They're called cilia. These cilia, they work together and beat in order to move this egg that the fallopian tube caught and to move it along this entire area here until it gets towards your uterus if fertilization occurs. Fertilization happens right here in the fallopian tube, almost midway along the pathway. Sperm travels through the vagina, through the cervix, up through the uterus, and will follow this pathway down the fallopian tube until it meets with the egg. Once egg and sperm meets, then this whole hormonal change occurs where DNA and material is being exchanged and the two will become one. At that point, these tiny little hairs will continue to beat together and move this combination called a conceptus, will move it along the rest of the fallopian tube until it gets to the uterus and implants itself into the wall of the uterus. At this point, pregnancy continues. You continue on your journey to 40 weeks of pregnancy until you deliver your baby. Now, that's ovulation and the process of sperm meeting egg. But I really want to talk to you more now about sperm. So now let's switch gears and let's talk about sperm production in a male. It's very different for that of a female. Females produce all their eggs at birth. Males produce sperm every single day. In fact, about 1,500 sperm are produced in any male per second every minute of his life. Over time, that's millions and billions of sperm being produced every single day. Now, when a semen analysis is done, this is a test to check to see how many sperm are being released in each ejaculate, which is what is released with sexual activity. In this ejaculate, about 40 million sperm is needed at minimum per milliliter of sperm. That's low baseline. Anything greater than 40 million sperm per ejaculate is completely normal. So now let's talk about having sex every day. Can you do it? Absolutely. Will you achieve pregnancy? Likely if there are no other problems that you're experiencing, because a lot of sperm is released and sperm actually moves pretty fast. In fact, sperm can possibly get through your vagina and head all the way to the fallopian tube in about 5 minutes. So if you are ovulating and an egg is waiting in the fallopian tube, waiting for fertilization to occur, know that when sperm is functioning well, one ejaculate can get the sperm there pretty fast. So should you wait to have sex every other day? Not necessarily. If you enjoy having sex every day, go right ahead. There are some theories that says, well, it would be nice to re-up on the total amount of sperm that is being released each time by waiting a few days before having sex again. But in truth, sperm is being created every single day, every single second, and it really only takes one get into the egg before the egg dies for conception to occur. If you're enjoying our conversation and what we're talking about today, please share your experiences, comment below, and let us know what your thoughts are. Let's dive further into how often to have sex in order for conception to occur. People often ask me, well, is it okay for you to have sex on the day that you ovulate? Well, the answer is, as long as your partner's sperm are healthy and functioning well, has good motility, then that is absolutely fine. Now, the caveat to that is that eggs only survive after ovulation for 18 to 24 hours. Therefore, if you do not have sexual intercourse right around the time that that egg is available in the fallopian tube, then the likelihood of you conceiving on the day of ovulation or immediately after is very low. Best practice is to really have sexual intercourse either every day or every other day while you're in your ovulation window. What is your ovulation window? Well, let's revert and talk about females for 1 second here. Your ovulation window starts 4 days before ovulation actually occurs. For instance, if you ovulate on October 15th, your window would begin around October 11th. We give you this very nice range of a time where pregnancy can occur because sperm can live inside a female's body for up to 4 or 5 days. So if you have sex on October 11th and you're ovulating on October 15th, there's still sperm likely in your body ready and available to fertilize the egg. The same if you have sex 2 days within your window, the sperm can survive and be in your system waiting for egg to show up and ovulate. Therefore, conception can occur. That opens up a lot, right? Because now you have a large range of time frame that you can actually have sperm within your system waiting to fertilize your egg. So next, I'd like to talk about what positions work best. I get this all the time. Whenever you're trying to conceive or you have infertility, sometimes we become very anxious or frustrated and so many emotions occur, and we want to know, well, how can we optimize making sure that this process works very efficiently and not mess up, right? So often positions are of question. Now, I want you to be relieved at knowing that it does not matter what position you're in as long as sperm are being released and that they're functioning well. Sperm will enter into the cervix and go into the uterus and move on its way to the fallopian tube just fine. So you can be in whatever position works perfectly well for you. Another question that I get really often regarding this is, should I lay in bed for a period of time to ensure that the sperm is not being released when I stand up or move, or gravity isn't pulling it out? It's a very good theoretical point, very good question. However, it doesn't actually matter, and it doesn't help for you to remain in a position for some time. Research has shown that when that sperm that is released, once you start moving and gravity pulls it out, it actually does not contain as many sperm as that was released in the ejaculate initially. Most of the sperm that is released actually gets moving right away and actually sticks to the walls inside of your vaginal area and starts making their way all the way in almost immediately. So the semen that is coming out vaginally actually does not have as much sperm in it, and it is completely safe for you to start moving and doing whatever feels comfortable for you. So I have a few tips for you if you're trying to conceive. Firstly, know that you are not necessarily the problem. This is a 50-50 journey between the ovum or egg and the sperm, which means that it's coming from two different individuals and both need to meet together in the middle to make pregnancy occur. In the process of checking for your fertility level, you want to also have your partner be checked at the same time to be sure that they're not having an issue. The second thing that I recommend is not waiting too long to get assistance. As soon as you've gone through 12 consecutive months without any high-risk problems of trying to conceive back to back, if that has not happened, really, you should start to see your doctors and talk to them about this process of conception. If you're over the age of 35, I recommend that you start to see your doctors very close to 6 months of trying to conceive. Lastly, I recommend that if you have any unhealthy habits, that this is the time to ditch those. This is the same for you and your partner as well. Smoking, drugs, alcohol, heavy supplementation, poor eating habits, not exercising often or often enough. These are all unhealthy habits that does not prepare the body best for conception and pregnancy. I hope you found this information helpful and valuable. As a thank you, and I would like to offer you a free gift today. Below in the description is a link to my ebook, Hormones Don't Lie. With this ebook, I'm offering this ebook to you free of charge, completely for just being here. In this, you'll learn about hormones, how to balance them well, and how to optimize your body for things like pregnancy. Thanks for being here. My name is Dr. Perkins, and I look forward to seeing you on the next episode. Thank you.